Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. As ever, you can find me over on Instagram at the House of Langford and Overreal Sews, and I'm also on Ravelry as Mad X Stitcher, which is where you can find all the details for this particular project as well as all my other projects really. But it is time for another square from the Granny Square card deck. So we are on week 29. I do have a little bit of catching up to do, so you may see duplicates this month or this week, maybe. Not duplicates, but 2 episodes as opposed to 1, to try and catch myself up a little bit. So, yep, it is time for square number 29, and it is called Cluster Flower. Now, as I've said before, I don't have any orange in my scrap bag, so, and we also have that tiny little ball of Stylecraft Special DK in Citron, so I'm going to see if I can get the 2 yellow rounds out of this tiny little ball, which is no longer a ball, it's more like a bow, but I think there's enough there to get those 2 and maybe even the centre of another one, so we'll see. Yeah, so I'm going to do the centre in this one, then I'm actually going to go for the red, the Ladybird in Hayfield bonus DK for the next round. Then for the orange round I'm going to go to pink. So I can't remember what this one is called. I think this one's Powder Pink. Deramores Studio Special DK. I think it's Powder Pink. I don't remember. All the ball bands are in my bag, so at some point I will find out the name and it'll probably be in the description once I've figured out what it is. And then obviously I'm going to do the yellow for the next round, and then finally it's purple. So I've got purple in the Hayfield bonus DK as well. So I've got 2 Hayfield bonus DK, 1 Deramores and 1 Stylecraft. So let's see if we can do it. Right, I've stopped after 2 rounds because I've got a hole here, so I'm going to redo the red round, I think, because it shouldn't be like that. I think I need to try and get into this one, which is really tight, because that's the one I slip stitched from, rather than the next stitch over. I don't know, but yeah, that gap is too big for me, so I'm going to redo the red. So let's frog and try again. Right, I've redone it. I even redid the yellow bit as well because I wasn't happy with that, and that's much better. So now there's no hole in the yellow. Got all my petals. So now I'm going to move on to the next colour. Well, there's lots of chops and changes in this video, isn't there? Right, so I have did the pink round, and then I went to the yellow round, and there's not enough of this one, so I'm going to save that for the centre of another square, because there's not an awful lot left, maybe 1.5 meters of that. But also this round is pinwheeling, and I think it's because I've added the chain spaces in between, which I don't normally do. So I think I'm going to redo this round as well and try again without the chain spaces, but then if it's still pinwheeling I'll flip it, because the final round is also trebles as well, and it would pinwheel if I don't square it off, like square it, if I don't flip somewhere. So I was going to flip on the double crochet round, but I'm not sure that's going to help the pinwheeling. So let's try again. Right, I took out the chain spaces between all the clusters except for the corners, and it has reduced it a little bit. Not as much as I would like, but I think that will be a lot easier to work with. So I am going to flip the next round. I'm going to use the Gilt this time. This one, because I have more of that yellow. So that'll be the next round, and then we'll do the purple. So this was our square. I have had to make a couple of changes. This is my finished square. I think it looks okay. Yeah. So what I have had to do is remove the chain spaces between the pinks, except for in the corners, to stop a little bit of pinwheeling. It's still pinwheeling a little bit, but not as much as it was. I did flip my round to do the second yellow round, which is just double crochet and chains, but it does mean you get a nice V in the gaps. Yeah. So sometimes when I have a trouble with something, I just stop and restart and then refilm it, but because I had a few things go wrong, I thought, well, I would share them with you during the process. So you'll have noticed that I changed the middle and had to redo the middle, redo the red. I redid the pink and removed the chains. I redid the second round of yellow because I ran out, because I don't have enough of the Citron to do that. So I switched to the Hayfield bonus DK in Gilt and finished off in the purple. And it's come out very nice, but there were a little bit of tricky bits to deal with along the way. So I hope that will help you when you make yours, or if you make yours. And yeah, square number 29 done. So next week will be week 30. I don't think there's 20 weeks left though in the year, because we're in the middle of September. So we have 2 weeks left of September. October, November and December. 4, 8, 12. There are 16 weeks left. I have 20 squares to do. So we're going to start doubling up. You may see 2 a week. But anyway, square 29 is done, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care. Bye.